Dear friends, today we bring you a story that will surely touch your heart. Imagine the serene, sacred mountains of Saudi Arabia, where, in a moment of divine mystery, a heavenly figure is said to have descended. Why did she appear there? What happened afterward? And how did the people present react to such a divine vision? All these questions will be answered in today's video, a tale that may leave you with chills, with emotions running high. But before we dive in, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. This small gesture helps us continue sharing stories of faith, mystery, and reflection. Throughout history, humans have relentlessly pursued their desires, hoping to fulfill every wish, every dream. Often, though, this pursuit leads us down paths of disappointment and heartbreak. Isn't it ironic that when we finally achieve what we desire most, after enduring so many trials and obstacles, we sometimes fail to value it? Today's story is a lesson for anyone who takes their blessings for granted, a reminder that the things we cherish most are often the ones we fail to appreciate once they're within our reach. This story goes back many years. In the heart of India, there was a devout Muslim named Amir Hassan. He was known for his kindness, his dedication to his faith, and his humble heart. The story begins when, as a young man, Amir traveled to Saudi Arabia to perform the Umrah pilgrimage. He had dreamed of this journey for years, saving every bit he could. For him, this wasn't just a journey of miles, it was a journey of the soul. As Amir arrived in Saudi Arabia, he was overwhelmed by the sacred atmosphere. Every prayer, every moment felt like a step closer to Allah. He felt peace, a profound sense of calm, unlike anything he had ever felt. One day, as he walked between the hills of Safa and Marwa, immersed in prayer, something extraordinary happened. In the blink of an eye, a bright light appeared before him. At first, he could scarcely believe his eyes, thinking it might just be the play of the sun. But as he focused, he saw something he would never forget. There, illuminated by the divine light, was the face of a heavenly figure, as beautiful and pure as he had ever imagined. Her face was partially veiled, but her presence radiated an unearthly beauty that left him spellbound. The figure's wings, pure and bright, seemed to speak of her otherworldly origins. For a few precious seconds, Amir was entranced, unable to move, unable to think of anything else. He looked around, expecting others to see this vision, to share in the wonder. But to his astonishment, no one seemed to notice. Had he been the only one chosen to witness this? Was it a vision granted to him alone? Amir's heart raced, filled with awe and confusion. Was this divine being a gift of the imagination, or was it a real miracle unfolding before his very eyes? Only Allah knows. From that moment, Amir was forever changed. He couldn't rid his mind of that image, that brief encounter that had captured his soul. After completing Umrah, Amir returned home, yet he was no longer the same. His mother noticed it immediately. Amir was distant, lost in thought. His heart was somewhere far away, back in those sacred mountains, with the vision he had seen. His mother, the only family he had after his father's passing, felt worried. She watched as her once lively, devoted son seemed to drift further and further from the world around him. One evening, she sat with him, hoping he would open up. "What troubles you, my son?" she asked softly. Amir looked at her but couldn't find the words to explain the turmoil inside him. He tried to brush it off, but his mother, wise and gentle, sensed there was more to his silence. Seeing him restless day after day, Amir's mother shared her worries with her sister. "Perhaps he's just lonely," her sister suggested. "Amir has reached the age for marriage. Maybe if he finds a companion, he will feel peace again." The suggestion made sense to her. Amir's mother began seeking a suitable match for him. She searched high and low, hoping that a new chapter in his life would bring back the joy she remembered in him. But when Amir discovered his mother's intentions, he approached her with a quiet determination. "Mother," he said gently, "please do not look for a match for me. I don't wish to marry." Surprised and a bit disheartened, she asked, "Why, son? This is your time to settle down, and I want to see you happy, to fulfill my responsibility as your mother." Amir replied, "Mother, I understand, and I honor your wish. But please, I beg you, do not look for a match for me." She wondered if perhaps he had already fallen in love, if his heart belonged to someone he had yet to speak of. With hope, she asked, "Is there someone you love? Tell me, and I will make sure you marry her." But Amir simply shook his head, unwilling to explain further. His mother's worry only grew. She couldn't comprehend why he was so unwilling to share his heart. Determined to understand, she gently pressed, "I am your mother. I have raised you alone, as both mother and father. Please tell me, what is it that troubles you so deeply? Why won't you marry?" After a long silence, Amir finally spoke. "Mother, I will marry, but only with a heavenly being." She laughed gently, assuming he was speaking metaphorically. "Don't worry, son. I will find you a girl as beautiful as an angel. You'll be happy again." Amir fell silent, unable to tell her the truth. How could he explain that the heavenly figure he had seen had captured his heart? She was not a mere dream. She was the embodiment of his yearning, the vision that haunted him. Every night he prayed, weeping before Allah. His soul was consumed by the memory, and he longed for that divine presence with all his heart. His prayers became a desperate plea. "O Allah, grant me the heavenly figure who has captured my soul. You alone have the power to give, to bless. I ask only for this one miracle. Let me be united with the one who has entered my heart." Day and night, Amir's heart was lost in prayer, his soul consumed with a love that seemed to transcend this world. Friends, Amir's story is one of yearning, of a love so pure and profound that it became the sole purpose of his being. He didn't want the world or its pleasures. He wanted only the vision he had seen, the angelic figure who had left him captivated. Days, months, and years passed, but Amir Hassan's heart remained unmoved. His mother introduced him to countless beautiful, virtuous girls, hoping one would catch his eye. But Amir found no interest in any of them. No one could compare to the vision of the heavenly being he had encountered. Time and again he turned down potential matches, holding on to his faith that Allah would answer his prayers one day. It was a blessed month of Ramadan. Amir had just finished the evening prayer, and he remained in the mosque, deeply absorbed in supplication. His heart was full, and as he whispered his prayers, tears streamed down his face. This was not just devotion. It was a yearning, an unshakable belief that Allah would grant him the partner he longed for, a divine companion, an angel who would fulfill his soul's deepest desire. Despite the years slipping by, Amir's faith remained as unwavering as ever, convinced that Allah would eventually answer his prayer. As he left the mosque that evening, still enveloped in this intense feeling, Amir heard a soft, sorrowful cry echoing from a shadowed alley. Startled, he paused. Following the sound, he found a veiled girl standing alone, tears streaming down her face. In the dim light, he approached, feeling an inexplicable sense of familiarity. When a faint light from a nearby street lamp fell on her face, Amir's heart skipped a beat. It was her, the girl from his vision, the one he had prayed for all these years. Her presence, her beauty, her sadness, they were all exactly as he had seen in his dream. Gathering courage, Amir asked in a trembling voice, "Who are you? And why are you crying here alone?" Through her tears, the girl explained, "I am an orphan with nowhere to go. I ran away from the shelter because they were trying to force me into something wrong. I didn't know where else to turn, so I ended up here, alone, without food or money." Listening to her, Amir's heart ached. This was no coincidence. He felt that Allah had finally answered his prayers. Here, in front of him, was the divine companion he had dreamed of. He reassured her gently, "Don't worry. My home is nearby, and if you trust me, come with me. My mother will welcome you with open arms." With little choice and feeling comforted by his words, the girl nodded. Together, they walked to Amir's home, where he introduced her to his mother and explained her situation. Amir's mother welcomed her warmly, saying, "Think of me as your own mother, my child. This home is yours now. What is your name?" With a hesitant glance at Amir, the girl answered, "My name is Hurain." Amir's mother was immediately taken by her grace and purity, as well as her deep devotion. Hurain was modest, prayerful, and had a goodness in her that Amir had always dreamed of. Over the next few days, as Amir observed her kindness and faith, he approached his mother with a request. "Mother," he began, "Hurain is exactly the kind, pious, and beautiful woman I have prayed for all these years. If you approve, I would like to marry her." Overjoyed, his mother kissed his forehead and thanked Allah. She spoke to Hurain, who shyly agreed, her heart full of gratitude and joy. Amir and Hurain were married, and on their wedding night, Amir saw her unveiled beauty in full. She was beyond anything he had ever imagined, and he bowed in gratitude, thanking Allah for answering his prayers in such an extraordinary way. He loved Hurain with all his heart, cherishing her deeply and caring for her every need. And Hurain, in turn, showered Amir with love and devotion. 5 blissful years passed, a time that seemed to fly by for Amir. In those years, Allah blessed them with everything a person could desire, except a child. Though Amir's mother waited patiently, longing for a grandchild, after 5 years, her patience began to wane. She shared her feelings with Amir, but he gently reassured her, saying, "Mother, please don't worry, I love Hurain dearly. If we are meant to have a child, then Allah will bless us. But if not, I could never hurt her or break her heart." Yet his mother couldn't let it go. She continued to press him, and her constant reminders slowly created tension in their once peaceful home. Hurain never mentioned his mother's remarks to Amir, but he began to grow irritable and withdrawn. His patience wore thin, and he sometimes found himself snapping at Hurain, though she bore his anger silently. One day, after a particularly heated argument with his mother, Amir returned to his room, weighed down with frustration. Hurain approached him gently. "Amir, please don't be upset. If it is your mother's wish, then fulfill it. I love you deeply, and though I have no one else in this world, I want you to be happy. If marrying again will bring you joy, then do so. I will accept it." Hearing this, Amir's heart ached. "No, Hurain," he replied. "I could never marry another. My heart belongs to you alone." Relieved, she smiled, and peace returned for a short while. But the tension grew, and Amir's desire for a child began to weigh heavily on him. In a moment of frustration, he uttered a hurtful remark to Hurain. "You could not even give me the happiness of a child. You are barren." The words cut through the silence, and Hurain stood there stunned. With tears in her eyes, she looked at him and said, "Is this what you think, Amir? Do you realize the truth behind my existence?" Seeing his confused expression, she continued, "I was the answer to your prayers, Amir. For years you cried out to Allah for a heavenly being, an angelic companion. And in a moment of divine grace, Allah granted that prayer. I was sent to be with you, a gift from Allah. But angels cannot bear children, Amir." As she spoke, her veil slipped, and Amir gasped as he saw a faint shimmer, a sign that she was indeed not of this world. With a quiet, trembling voice, she added, "I am an angel, Amir. We do not have children." Amir felt his whole world crumble. He looked at her, unable to process the weight of her revelation. In that moment, Hurain turned to him one last time. "You prayed for an angel, Amir, and I was sent to fulfill your wish. But human desires know no end. Take this lesson, for you have witnessed a miracle, yet failed to appreciate it. Farewell." With a flutter of wings, she vanished from sight, leaving Amir standing there, stunned, his heart filled with regret. Was it a dream, or was it reality? Had he just lost the very blessing he had prayed for all these years? Dear friends, this story carries a powerful lesson for us all. We are often ungrateful, blinded by our endless desires. Who sustains the heavens and the earth? Who gives us the countless blessings we take for granted? The answer is Allah. Look around at the miracles of His creation, the day and night, the changing seasons, the sun, the moon, the stars, each with its own purpose. Allah's power is limitless, and we must open our hearts and minds to recognize His blessings. In the Quran, Allah tells us to reflect on His signs scattered throughout the universe. The skies, the earth, the mountains, the seas, everything speaks of His glory. We should always appreciate Allah's blessings and be mindful of His power. If you enjoyed this video and found it beneficial, please support us by subscribing to our channel. May Allah guide us all on the straight path and shower us with His endless blessings. Ameen. Until next time, take care of yourselves and those around you. Peace and blessings.